some notion about grammar. So now we have moved to syntax. We have covered many aspects of morphology, and now we are moved to syntax. But before we discuss some theories of semantics or syntax, let's look at the basic of syntax, that is grammar. There was a time when syntax and morphology were discussed under the heading of grammar. So I think that some background knowledge of syntax will help you understand what is syntax, why do we study it. The word grammar is derived from Greek, which means art of letters. Letters mean gramma, which means to draw or to write. The same graphene is in Greek language. So the same Greek root also appears in graphics, graphemes, and photographs. So generally we can say that grammar is the art of writing, generally we say, but it's much more than that, right? It encompasses a whole phenomena. In linguistic, grammar is the set of structural rules governing the composition of clauses, phrases, words in any given natural languages. So when we talk about grammar, we are talking about the whole of the language, that or anything that takes place in a language, word, phrases, and clauses, etc. So the term refers also to the study of such rules, and this field includes phonology, morphology, and syntax, often complemented by phonetic, semantics, and pragmatic. The word grammar is used for so many things, as you will just see. Speakers of a language have a set of internalized rules for using that language, and these rules constitute the language grammar. So actually what a grammar is, it's the constitution of the rules that are found in the internal system of the speaker of any natural language. Native language acquired not by conscious study or instruction, but by observing other. This is how we learn language. We learn language not by any conscious effort. Rather, we observe our elders or people around us, and we learn language. Especially, we're talking about the first language or the native language. Much of this work is done during early childhood. Obviously, learning a language later in life usually involves a greater degree of explicit instructions. Obviously, we all have learned English as a second language, and it involves a lot of instructions from others, teachers, elders, etc. Grammar is the cognitive information underlying language use. So it is in the information which is in our brain. The term grammar can also be used to describe the rules that govern linguistic behavior of a group of speakers. So we can refer to what is their grammar mean, that how do they use their show their linguistic behavior. The term English grammar may have several meanings, right? So let's look at this. The whole of English grammar, that is to the grammars of all the speakers of the language. So when we talk about English grammar, we refer to the grammar of the speakers of that language. Alternatively, it may refer only to what is common to the grammars of all or of the vast majority of English speakers, such as subject, verb, object, word order in a simple declarative sentence. So at different time we refer this word to have a different meaning. Or it may refer to the rules of particular relatively well-defined variety as standard English, English of a particular region of a particular class, standard English grammar, standard British grammar, standard American grammar, and of other countries as well. A specific description, study or analysis of such rule may also be referred to as a grammar. So let's look at the grammar. Let's look at how these phrases, words or clauses work in that language. A reference book describing the grammar of a language is called a reference grammar or simply a grammar. So we also use the word grammar for the book, some that has the rules of a certain language. For example, grammar of English mean the book that consists of the rules of English language. A fully explicit grammar that exhaustively describes the grammatical construction of a language is called a descriptive grammar. So descriptive, there are so many types of grammars, and one of them is descriptive grammar. It tells that how the speaker of that language use their language. So simply it tells us it gives us the description of the use of that language. This kind of linguistic description contrasts with linguistic prescription. Prescription means how language should be used. So we'll study some more things on descriptive grammar and prescriptive grammar, an attempt to discourage or suppress some grammatical construction while promoting other. So according to the prescriptive grammar, you should use this and you should not use that. For example, you should not start a sentence with a conjunction or end a sentence with a preposition. You should write this way or that way. Like John Dryden objected to it, leading other English speakers to avoid the construction and discourage its use, the use of ending a sentence with a preposition. So he did this. Rather, he revised his work as well. Outside linguistic, the term grammar is often used in a rather different sense. It may be used more broadly, including rules of spelling and punctuation, obviously, which linguistic would not typically consider to form part of grammar, but rather as a part of orthography, what we write with the writing system of the language. But sometimes the word grammar is used for these rules as well. In other respect, it may be used more narrowly to refer to prescriptive grammar only and excluding those aspects of language grammar that are not subject to variation or debate. Jeremy Butterfield claimed that for non-linguists, grammar is often a generic way of referring to any aspect of English that people object to it. So generally, for non-linguists, anything when we refer to language, we use this word grammar. We can use it in a very common way. So these are some of the basic thoughts about grammar.